Good afternoon.
Ms. Bullard, if you would please raise your right hand.
Will.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Ms. Bullard, I know you've been sitting here for quite a while, and you've heard me a couple times revisit the question about what it is that we're here to do. We have the benefit of your affidavit that was here. We've obviously heard testimony from Mr. Player and Mr. Gallman. My understanding is that the nature of your complaint is related to the same case, same episode, same course of conduct. And I would ask you, unless we extend these proceedings much longer than they need be extended, that you focus your comments again on the question of the evaluative criteria that we're using here.
Okay.
All right?
If I may say briefly that my husband and I have advocated for thousands of children over our careers. My husband, a licensed master social worker, was over children's services for Beckman Mental Health, which is part of the South Carolina Mental Health,
Ms. Bullard,
for 43 years.
I made a procedural mistake. You have to forgive me. This is my first time sitting in this seat, and I made the mistake of not recognizing that your complaint was not fully in the record. Luckily, we have these fine lawyers next to me who stopped us all now, and again, I apologize for interrupting you for my mistake, but Ms. Foster needs to put this on the record, so it's a formal part of our record. So Ms. Foster, please continue saving me.
The Commission has before it your affidavit of complaint, which I respectfully request be made part of the record at this time. The purpose of today's hearing is for the Commission to review the qualifications of the candidates to determine whether Judge Bromell Holmes is qualified to be on the Court of Appeals. The Commission is not here to relitigate a case, and they do not have the ability to change the result of the case. Ms. Bullard, you've submitted your affidavit, which the Commission is reviewing. Is there anything else you wish to testify to specifically regarding Judge Bromell Holmes' ethics, competency, or character that has not already been covered by the Commission?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry, but that was my fault, and I know it derails your chain of thought, so please continue.
I just want to say this, and I think you will understand why I want to say it. For 43 years, my husband was director of children's mental health. For 33 years, I was the campus administrator at Connie Maxwell Children's Home, which, if you don't know, is a ministry of South Carolina Baptist. And since 1892, the ministry each and every year has ministered to over 100 families, providing hope and healing and trying to provide family reunification. I say that because we have both as advocates known about situations when children were separated from their parents. And I ask you, do you think it's in the best interest of children to have a loving parent removed from their life for a year? I submit to you, I do not think that it is. I also say to you that if you ever had a 10-year-old daughter and she put on a bathing suit to go swimming and you saw horrific bruises in the area of her crotch, you would be deeply concerned. Those bruises were seen by several people. The child went to MUSC. And Judge Bromell Holmes in court stated, quote, "The defendant father made allegations at MUSC that RGG may have been physically and sexually abused. The court order further stated, quote, "This court finds that it is convenient to allege abuse in a custody order, in a custody action." The father already had joint custody. I understand what Judge Bromell Holmes said. And apparently she assumed that what may be true in some cases must be true in all cases. It was not true in this case.
Ms. Bullard, thank you for making the time to come here today.
I would like to continue for a moment.
Okay. I'm happy to have you continue, but what we can't do is focus on what is already in the record. So as you've heard us discuss out loud, the order is already in the record. The allegations are in the record. The judge's decision is in the record. Mr. Player, Gallman, I'm so sorry, sir.
I'm his mother.
Okay, well, nice to meet you. You've heard the various points of view. What can you tell us that's new?
Okay, I can tell you this, that our family was traumatized for a year. That time was stolen from our husband and me, for cousins, aunts and uncles, and certainly for my son, who was their father, and a good father. And then the court order stated, quote,
Let me pause right there.
No,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
this regards character and
one at
me.
a time. It's going to be one at a time. That's the only way this can work. One of the things that we have to do here is have an official transcript of it. The lady to your left there is taking down all of our words. Try as she might, she can't write down both of us talking at the same time. And in the interest of keeping things moving in a progressive and helpful direction, my responsibility is to make sure that we refocus on that goal.
I'm sorry.
I feel the frustration and the hurt and the anguish. It's inescapable. And so I hope you don't intuit from my interventions here any lack of compassion or empathy. It's certainly not. It is simply that I have a responsibility to keep us focused on what is mandated by law. And that, again, is the evaluation of the candidate's constitutional statutory fitness to serve. And to that end, we cannot simply reread what is already in the order, and we cannot reread what is already in the record. And so I'm going to, one last shot at this. Is there anything you want to add that we haven't already heard?
Well, I would like to say that my character and my husband's character were assaulted in the order. We had no chance to discuss this with anyone. I know you don't want to hear it, but it said the court is concerned that the minor daughter has been subjected to ridicule by a paternal relative for not substantiating the alleged abuse as stated by the father. Judge Bromell Holmes knows nothing about me. She knows nothing about my husband. She knows nothing about our lives, which has been spent advocating for children. She did not ask anyone other than the mother and her attorney. She accepted everything they said. I do not think that unjustly assaulting the character of a loving grandparent is very professional. I was not asked a question. I was not allowed a comment. Therefore, I could have nothing to do, my husband could have nothing to do, but sit for a year praying every morning and every night that this injustice would be fixed. As you exercise your political prerogative, I would urge you to consider Judge Bromell's Holmes' reputation for lacking professionalism and the temperament required to be a judge.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bullard. I appreciate you making the time. I know it's not easy to revisit what is clearly, you know, and undeniably a very difficult episode. So thank you for, again, making your way here in time today for the commission. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Ms. Bullard? Seeing none, thank you very much for your time and your testimony here today.